Yeah, I can work with that. I've played enough fucking punishing fucking roguelikes in my day. I can handle losing over and over and not.
And here's the secret people won't tell you. There's no shame in looking up a build map. And then I said, oh, seconds. And then he's like, I said 60 seconds. I'm like, technically that's second. Oh shit, I was the guy.
You were the guy.
Dan, you mentioned getting dressed before we recorded. Have either of you guys ever recorded the podcast naked?
Not naked, but I've recorded in my underwear before.
I've recorded in my underwear before.
Full disclosure, I've recorded like completely naked before.
I respect that, actually.
I remember you saying that one time because you're like, yeah, I'm just sitting here naked in a blanket.
That is actually 100% how it happened. And it may be multiple times, but also I don't think I said that when we were recording it.
You
so
did
looking
not.
back, no one will ever know. And you can't go back and guess because I don't talk about it. I don't like.
You're not like, ooh, it's breezy today.
Yeah, no one will know the Naked Jackson episodes because honestly, I don't know if it was more than once.
Damn.
You don't know if it's more than once is vaguely concerning. I won't lie to you.
Is it?
Dude, it's 189 episodes. Like anything could happen.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time naked.
Guys, what are things we should like keep track of as far as the happened number of episodes? Like number of episodes that we've had, whatever.
And I feel like if you have to track it, it's not fun.
Okay, well,
if someone else tracks it for you, it's fun enough that they care.
That's fair.
I would agree. I don't know.
And there'll never be a way to track whether or not I was naked on any given episode.
Yeah, the only stuff that we really could track is which episodes which host has missed.
That's true.
Guest versus normal.
Statistically, I feel like there's only one person that has been nailing that so far.
Is that me?
It's you, yes.
Yeah, I've only missed 2 episodes. A Jackson solo, and then the one that was an actual missed episode.
I don't even remember the actual missed episode, to be honest with you.
It was my wedding, so I did not attend.
That's fair.
When Noah was wed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be here on my wedding weekend.
Wow, overachiever.
Actually, realistically, we'll probably be in the same spot, Noah, on my wedding. Ooh, hold on.
I was wondering about that, but that was I figured that we would actually like run the numbers later because it's not,
we should absolutely run the numbers. This is not
a
thing to talk about right now live on the air, but also now I'm thinking about it and I can't help it. Send help.
You know what is a thing to talk
about?
Oh yeah,
I hate
white people.
You know what kind of people I just fucking hate?
Who's that?
The motherfuckers who will be like, actually, time isn't real. Like, just tell me you're stupid without telling me you're stupid. Everyone knows what you mean, but nobody cares as much as you think they do. You're not as smart as you think you are. And like, yeah, you probably heard that like on a podcast one time. It doesn't mean that like you're correct. Time is something we perceive, and in the act of perceiving it, it becomes real. It's called pragmatism, motherfucker. Hate that shit.
Does this carry over into the like, oh, I've said something stupid. Like I say time is fake anyway, like a lot. And I'm trying to decide if I'm being roasted by this, or is this like people who are like,
I guess.
No, because I feel like if I'm like trying to figure out like a time and I'm like, whatever, fuck it, doesn't fucking matter, time's fake anyway, and then move on. Like it's one thing to say that and move on, I feel like, versus like what it sounds like you're mad about, which is people who say it as an excuse for shitty behavior.
No, not as an excuse for shitty behavior, but as like people who bring it up as if it's an intellectual talking point.
Oh, then yeah, no, fuck them people.
Or they act as if it's like some kind of like meaningful statement that like conveys anything at all.
No. I say it as a meme, as a bit, a goof, a gaff, if you will.
Because like, yeah, I've encountered several people in my life who always dumb, always the kind of people who would see a post on Facebook from an account called like Kush and Wisdom with an image of like a guy looking at the lake that would say, keep the real ones close. Like the kind of motherfuckers who would be like, that's so true, dude. That's so me. They're always like, yo, man, time's not even like real. People made that up. Like, okay, like leave a piece of meat on the floor, see if it rots. The passage of time is something that is very real and can be marked in terms of the temporal physical differences in the things around us. Whether or not minutes and seconds are real, sure, those are a man-made measuring unit that we've established for time. But that's not the argument. They don't understand the argument even to that degree. And you say that, they're like, whatever, time's not real.
Yeah, I do hate that.
People I just hate them.
I don't know that I've ever met anybody who has ever tried to seriously argue with me that time wasn't real. Like
really?
many times I've said
that must be nice.
Like I've said like, oh, time is fake anyway. Like I'm not blameless in this, but I can't think of anybody who would seriously sit here and try and have an argument with me.
I've met like half a dozen.
That's sad.
And they're always men. They're always under the age of 28, but over the age of 22, and white, usually long hair, and I'm pretty sure they all got it from Joe Rogan because I think he said that one time.
I really thought you were just describing me until you mentioned Joe Rogan. Genuinely, I thought that was the bit you were doing, and it was going to be very funny.
I mean, I think it's
I'm just
very funny that
describing-
you did say technically all time can be broken down into seconds right before we recorded, but
I did not say that. You said that. What are you
I
talking?
said that. I fucking said that.
I was gonna say, I know I didn't say that.
oh, fuck,
Because-
never mind.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Dan was like,
Dan.
I'll
I
be
thought-
there in seconds, and then
And
you're
then
like,
I said,
60
seconds. And then he's like, I said 60 seconds. I'm like, technically that's second. Oh shit, I was the guy.
You were the guy.
Yeah, you were the guy.
Noah really be out here like.
You can't be mean to me. I'm drinking wine.
What are you drinking tonight,
again.
Noah?
Carnivore Cab. It's very good.
I just ate a whole bunch of shards of an edible off of my counter.
Oh shoot, dude, you're gonna be flying shards of an
Probably
edible?
not. 'Cause it was like shards. Like it wasn't like so. This is the package of edibles I had bought legally.
Mhm.
Were they all like molded together into like one massive edible, and I was like, I'm smart enough to get these jits separated. And I did for the most part, but there was some cracking and going on, and so I was like licking the shards off my desk.
Nice.
I don't.
It's supposed to taste like cotton candy. It kind of reminds me of like Gushers, like a generic Gusher flavor. They're like hard candy, not like gummies.
Question of do you like classic Gusher flavor? You know.
I mean, it's one of those where like when it comes to like, and this is kind of what because I don't want to incriminate anyone, especially not a foreign national. So maybe I just shouldn't tell this story. Yeah, you know what? Better safe than sorry.
I was gonna say you don't have to name names. Or
yeah, but
is it a very easy?
It's a big. The fact that they're a foreign national, like their international like scholar, is important. But it's also like I don't want to, you know, I don't want to sully anyone's reputation or the, you know, it's a little too specific, and it really only applies to one person. Anyway, the thing about like something like an edible is like, does it taste good? Is that important? Kinda, but you're not gonna eat a bag of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully. It's like,
in theory,
you eat one, if you're like, man, this tastes like ass. Okay, eat something else.
Oh, who was I talking to about that the other day, actually? A friend of mine had chocolate chip cookies that he had made. And he's like, yeah, outside of the weed taste, these are pretty good. And honestly, here's the thing, though.
That's because it's just...
I unironically think that in the right setting, the flavor actually plays really well with different things. Because I think those chocolate chip cookies slapped. They were really good.
I think these hard candies are really, really good. But it's also one of those things where people be like, other than like the weed taste, they're pretty good. That's because you likely use just a chocolate chip cookie recipe, and then instead of using butter, you used weed butter. So yeah, they're otherwise good cookies, but then there's just a little bit of an other flavor because there's another ingredient that you put in them.
I'm saying that it's the other flavor that I think was good. He was saying that he wishes that they had like formulated better so that the flavor was like less present. But I think the flavor being present actually was a pretty great thing.
Like I like these little hard candies I have because they taste like the weed taste comes through a little peppery, and it like gives a nice body to the cotton candy flavor. I suppose it's not like it's not overwhelmingly sweet. There's a little spice.
Yeah.
I wonder if like I'm sure there's people who know this answer, but like if you're making like weed butter, how much of the flavor actually comes through from the weed you're using? Like I know that like the chemical components and like the actual like high that you experience is based on like what was initially put in there, based on percentages, potency, and you know strains such as indica sativa, things like that. That makes sense. But like, what about the taste? How much of that actually comes through with the end product?
I mean, since that's what my neighbor did, I guarantee it's a decent amount because there's not that much butter in cookies. Well,
no,
there's
I'm
a
not
lot
saying
of
like
butter,
I'm not saying like weed taste, but like
oh.
you know how like different strains of weed have like kind of like different kinds of coffee or different wines. There's flavor notes in there. I wonder how much if those are actually able to come through, or if they're not strong enough to come through.
I wonder.
Because like sometimes when you make like a latte, a lot of the notes and the more subtleties of a coffee are kind of lost a little bit. So I would imagine it's a similar process. I have a friend that's literally going to school for this. I could probably ask him, but he's also like a freshman, so it's
there you go. More you know.
I
think you should ask him though. Like
I do think you should ask him. I was gonna say like I feel like this is at least something that you can
just like hit him up, but make sure you do it like late at night so he doesn't think it's a legit thing, just in case he doesn't want to answer.
I mean,
he can just ignore it. And If he gives you
No,
a bad
it's not
answer,
like
you can be
he's
like,
like,
"Oh yeah, I was just goofing on," and it doesn't matter.
It's not like he's like he's a very close friend. It's not like it's a.
It's not like you're saying, "Hey mom, so weed, tell me about it."
Well, no, it's like we're in like regular communication about all sorts of things like on a near daily basis. So it wouldn't be weird if I hit him up with a dumb question. I think actually let me go through like because I have a group chat with him and another friend of mine, and let me read over because he had a moment for sure the other day where he said at 12:30 p.m. yesterday he said, I think I like buttons more than zippers.
I can get behind that.
At 12:37 p.m. he said, also I just realized no one had said anything in between these messages. He said, also I just realized my initials are the acronym for cock meat sandwich.
Okay, but that's not that's we in the industry call that a stretch. Like no one was thinking that. No one was thinking that. Just one man was thinking that.
Yeah, what were you? Why was he like in those 7 minutes? What happens? He was like, I think I like buttons more. I think they more than a zipper.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 minutes later, my initials could be misconstrued as cock meat sandwich.
I gotta be honest, because I want to weigh in on this zipper button thing. I'm a huge fan of like a chunky zipper. Like I love big zippers, but in general, I can definitely agree that buttons are kind of superior to zippers. I don't like zippers, or I don't like buttons on my pants though, like instead of zippers. That feels weird to me.
Honestly, I feel like the classic pants move is a little 1-2 combo.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you need. I think it works best with both.
Zipper. Yeah, Levi, when he figured that shit out, he was on one.
Yeah,
all things in balance, really.
Imagine the guys before Levi who were like just buttons or just zippers.
Yeah, like Wrangler or whoever.
Jebediah Levi. A saint.
I'm pretty sure his last name wasn't Levi.
Yeah, I know. It was like, what, name. Levi Strauss? Something like that.
Strauss. Oh, yeah. That guy was fucking probably German as hell.
What made you think that?
Just Strauss!
Just curious. You think he was German?
Yeah, probably.
Since 1853.
My grandma turned 90 the other day.
What's old?
Really? Damn.
Yeah, I mean, went to her 90th birthday party.
Your grandma.
My family, they're fucking like old as hell. No offense. I mean, my grandma's like, she's super sweet. She's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
She's 90. Her husband passed away like 2 years ago at 92.
Jeez.
Yeah, my mom's dad died at 92, and her mom died at 90. My great grandmother on my dad's side lived to be 98, and she smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. 3!
That's so many cigarettes.
That's so many. And apparently, she went to McDonald's as much as she could. Incredible. 98.
Wow.
What a queen.
I don't know how. Sometimes I sleep and my back hurts for like a day and a half.
It's because you're not smoking 3 packs a day.
I should start smoking 3 packs a day. I don't want to talk more about weed, but I do have more weed stories.
Always down.
I can't stop you, so.
I just like I don't want to become the weed podcast guy.
Yeah, I guess
like,
it is.
If anything, we need to have Jeff do that.
Yeah, I guess it's 2 episodes of you talking about weed in a row, isn't it?
I was out last week, wasn't I?
Yeah, but like last time you were on, you were talking about how cringy weed fans are.
They are.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're correct. You're very, very correct. You were wrong.
No one disagreed with you.
Because Dan, you weren't here, but he was talking about how every like weed fan is just like Rick and Morty. Like you can't go to a weed establishment without 700 Rick and Morty items being there.
It sucks. I don't want a Rick and Morty bong. I want Noah's giant baby Yoda bong.
Exactly.
I do. Like I also want Noah's giant baby Yoda bong, to be clear.
People can't get on my giant baby Yoda bong like level.
I wonder if that exists yet. It didn't at the time we were making the joke, but I wonder if it does now.
It's gotta eventually someone's gotta do it.
I think I
love Baby Yoda.
I think our issue was that we were looking for a giant Baby Yoda bong, but there are Baby Yoda bongs. Like if you just Google Baby Yoda bong, you get Baby Yoda with a little tube on his head, and he's sipping out of his broth bowl, but that's actually your weed bowl.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I know.
So I've recently been doing this thing to Mari, which is when she says something that's like very extreme or over the top. Because sometimes, no one gets to really sees the side of her, save for me and maybe a few others. But like sometimes she gets a little like extreme in a joking way about things.
Yeah.
Like she'll be like, yeah, we should just like kill them. Like, when she's upset with somebody.
Understand.
And lately my thing is whenever she does that, I just sit there and go, so true, bestie.
You're correct.
She really hates
That's the correct thing to do.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine why she hates that. So weird.
Not like actually.
What a weird thing to hate.
Also finds it funny, but like.
What a weird thing to hate.
You should find
So
that Joker
true.
kid and make it into a meme that says "So true,
fuck.
bestie."
Speaking of which,
Oh, no.
I'm cursed.
Oh no, are you cursed with the Joker?
It happened again.
You found another Joker?
I found another Joker car. So I found the Joker motorcycle with the Joker cosplay on it, the Joker car with the ha 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 back window and the Joker paint job and everything. And then the other day, Mari and I found this while we were driving to my grandma's birthday party, actually.
Holy shit.
Joker big rig.
The Joker big rig.
With the Why So Serious Comic Sans.
Oh boy.
It took every ounce of strength for me to not show this to Nina before the podcast because I didn't trust that she wouldn't show you.
Oh
she
my
would've 100%
god.
showed instantly.
You need to send that to her. Holy shit.
It's so bad, right?
I can't believe that's a whole, like, somebody bought
It's
a big rig,
yeah.
and then that's the custom paint job they decide to go.
If
Man,
you notice
that's
the
an
mirror, there's a
expensive
Joker in the
one,
mirror
too.
as well. That's the thing. I was like,
No.
it's one thing to get your motorcycle painted green and like purple. This is a bit like, and this is not like a backyard spray paint. That's like a professionally done paint job.
No, this is
not
legit.
a well done because it sucks.
Yeah.
but that's like they spend a lot of money on this. Like that's
So,
not a cheap job.
This is a legitimate question I have for you guys. What is the attraction that so many people have specifically to Heath Ledger's Joker, that he is the one that everyone is just like, that's me?
He's just like me.
I think.
Well, I think if I may
Mhm.
posit a theory. First of all, Nina's already responded to the picture. She said, "Holy fuck."
Yep.
So the Heath Ledger Joker is in the Dark Knight, which is like, not to say Batman wasn't like present in everyone's like cultural narrative,
Mhm.
but like the Heath Ledger
unique,
Joker
Yeah.
fucking blew up. Like everyone saw that movie. Everyone saw that movie in theaters. And so like all of those dudes who may have only thought of the Joker from like the 60s cartoon or from the comics or the animated series where he's just like kind of wacky goofy was like, he's not wacky goofy, he's dangerous and scary and dark like me. Like it wasn't, there's no wackiness, goofiness, and you don't have to be funny to be the Joker if you're Heath Ledger.
That's true. You just
Like
crazy.
his Joker wasn't like comical. He wasn't like making quips. He
Yeah.
was, but they were much darker and much like grittier, not your average, you know.
Not your average.
Hey,
Quip.
Batman, check this out. Honk, honk.
Hashtag not all clips. No, I think it's also like it's the exact same people that exact same reason and people that are real into fucking Fight Club, right? It's the idea that like oh, the system is broken and the only way to fix it is to burn it to the ground, which is, I mean, there's some value there, but not in the way that they're doing it necessarily. And to me, that I think that there's a very clear connection point there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of Ledger's Joker, and like all that makes a lot of sense to me, right? All that makes a lot of sense.
I don't know.
But
I don't
no
know if it
one's
does to
latched
me,
on
though.
to another Joker since then in the same way. Like Jared Leto's Joker, yeah, no one was gonna latch on to Leto's Joker. But like,
It's true.
you would, I guess maybe it's the fact that like our classic The Joker joke, or I'm sorry, just Joker, good old Joaquin Phoenix. I guess he's like, I feel like he's
More interesting,
like
compelling
more
character.
no. I think that he's a better crafted at that crowd character because he's the epitome of, oh man, I tell you guys, I'm one bad day away. That is that Joker.
The problem with that Joker is that he is actually mentally ill, right? And I think
Well-
that a lot of people are very quick to be like, the Joker's not that crazy. He's actually the sanest one of them all.
I also think that like that Joker, like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, the problem is he has like that bad day on screen, and they
True,
don't want to
too.
picture themselves having the bad day.
They just want
They just want to posit
had
that
the
it could
bad
happen,
day.
and then
That's
they're
true.
dangerous.
Mm.
They don't want to like imagine themselves having a breakdown or crying because no, they're
They're men.
they're not. Yeah, they're how they are now, and then snap evil. They don't want to have a breakdown. They don't want to imagine the breakdown. Only the post breakdown insanity. That's obviously never going to happen because I mean, look at most people who like the Joker. Like your trip pants aren't scaring anybody. Your Jinkos aren't what they're doing what they used to, pal.
The
Could you beat me up? Probably, but that's not that impressive.
No, I think that's also it. Definitely is that Joker in Dark Knight is very much a force of nature, almost kind of character. You don't have to deal with all the uncomfy like he had to get there somehow kind of thing.
Yeah, which it fits that same vein as Tyler Durden in Fight Club, where you don't have to see him making the thing. You don't have to see like the process that goes into it. You don't watch Heath Ledger's Joker plan the big bank heist and figure everything out, and you don't watch Heath Ledger's Joker plant the explosives in the hospital or anything like that. You just watch him blow it up and rob the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And like so those guys are like, oh my god, that's literally me, because they don't want to think about the processes that go behind the actions that are being taken. They just want to think about the end result. And Heath Ledger's Joker is all about the end result. Same with Tyler Durden, all about the end result.
It also helps that, like, in the end, Heath Ledger's Joker doesn't succeed, right? In Fight Club,
wins.
In Fight Club, well, there's an argument to be made that in Fight Club, Tyler Durden does win, right? Like, they blow up all those buildings, and then the movie ends. You don't see the aftermath of that either. Whereas even as little as in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, you do see that kind of the aftermath of what happens, and like you see all the chaos that causes.
Yeah, but you also see the build up to it. I don't know. I am buying that take. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I guess I'm just here to have someone to tell me how to think.
Well, I mean, it's not really necessarily even about that. It's just telling you about maybe how people are thinking, as trying to get a glimpse inside the mind of people that none of us are, you know. And it's not a solid exact thing. There's so many dumbasses out there who are like Joker stricken. But that's just, those are some of my best guesses. Who knows? Everyone's different. Some people would probably just think he looks cool.
It's true.
It's not that deep to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just think he has a fun voice to do, and he has good lines. And
why
people
so
if they want to know
serious?
how he got his scars.
Yeah, why so serious? Many people are saying this.
Many people are saying that I am serious.
You want to know how I got these scars, Batman? Riddle me this, Batman. How did I get these scars?
That's the Riddler.
Oh, fuck. My bad.
I'm so scared of the... Tony Zarrett's memes about being afraid of the Riddler for the last, 3 years, before the Batman movie was even announced, are so funny to me. And it kind of sucks that, they actually tried to, make the Riddler something.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so funny when it was just like, oh, the Riddler's so scary.
Yeah, when I'll give you that, but I will say I did love this Riddler. I loved him a lot. Have neither of you have seen it yet?
Will be honest with you.
Correct.
The only thing I know about the Riddler is the little Lego Riddler. I know nothing about Batman or any comics, and that's kind of how I like my life.
No, that's okay. That's a good spot to be.
But I know the Lego Riddler.
I feel the need to, now that it's been 2 weeks, I feel the need to once again at Dan. You need to see this movie in the theater.
I haven't gotten time to go see it.
But man, I've seen it twice now.
Noah.
The second time I watched it, I was drunk, and it was so much better.
No, you have so much more free time than I do.
Okay, yeah, but also, this is actually something that I would really recommend. I really unironically think that you are doing yourself a disservice not seeing it in the theater, because I think you will really appreciate it.
I want to see it. I just haven't been able to. Honestly, next weekend is my last weekend off until, end of probably till at least mid-May. So
Did I hear that right? Weekend off?
I will try and go see it this weekend.
Okay.
I saw Jujutsu Kaisen 0 in theaters the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mari and I went to see it on the release day, and it's an anime movie. It's pretty good. It's not that deep, but that's okay.
I was going to say, how does it compare to the other Jujutsu Kaisens? But then I realized you said 0, and I'm like, well, that's no good.
It's a prequel. Yeah, so the first the first season. So initially, what happened actually at the full lore is the creator of the manga made Jujutsu Kaisen 0. The initial story was what was told in the movie, and that was kind of released as a serialized short manga that didn't have a full direction. And then what was done is the anime TV series with Ryuji and Sakuna and all the lads. That was done as a later addition to the series, and that was made the show. So they did a main character shift after a volume.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of showing that in the series, they just started with the main character shift, and then the movie is the prequel. And it's really good. I liked it.
Okay. That does sound nice.
I think the show does the anime thing that like a lot of anime does, and I personally like it, although this entire argument I'm probably about to make could be summed up as like it really isn't that deep. It's just like kind of weak writing. It does the anime thing where like incredibly complex like decisions and incredibly like nuanced behavioral patterns are decided based off of like a single sentence someone kind of says at one point in time. Where it's like someone says like, hey, like I don't want like why are you doing all of this like insane shit? Like why are you like putting your life at risk and doing all this stuff? They're like, I just don't want people to be sad anymore. You're like, you know what? Hell yeah.
I actually really like that as a trope. I really like
I kind of do too.
I really like it very simple of like I have committed myself to this one idea so thoroughly.
Like I don't want people to be hurt anymore. And it's like, is that maybe too simple to drive someone for an entire story? Yeah, but motivation often changes, especially throughout a long-standing series. But like it's also kind of refreshing because I feel like we as people get ourselves so tangled up in these webs of what's optimal and trying to find out like how we should like weigh every decision we make that it's kind of nice to see someone whose entire motivation is summed up by like, well, when my grandfather was dying, he said I was strong, so I should protect those who can't fight for themselves.
When my uncle was dying, he said there was great power and great responsibility.
Yeah, it's like the same kind of thing where you're like, yeah, sometimes it is that simple to just hear something and take it to heart.
I think that I'm gonna go on a limb, and people may have a disagreement with me on this. I think that most characters, and in fact most people, whether they know it or not, probably have a core ideology or thought process of some sort in that same vein. That like this is what they like have mentally decided is important. And that they, even if it's not something that they consciously think about, that they're basing their life around, I'd be willing to bet that most people have something to that effect that does keep ringing in their ears.
I think that might have something that perhaps is more important than other things, but it's never just a one-note thing.
True. No,
which, like in anime, it oftentimes literally is just like a one-note thing.
That's fair. Yeah,
like that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
or like I don't know. I think that the show is really fun. It's really like good, but not in the sense of like it's not like writing or like anything that's gonna change your life. But it's really, really pretty and really well done animation. And like the fight scenes are really fun. The pacing's a little bit whack, but the pacing's whack so that there can be more fight scenes in one movie. And that's sick.
I do like
when the fight scenes are done so well.
Yeah.
It also gets to show you like some of the cast who are in the main series, but when they're a year younger. And so like they have like kind of character redesigns, like light character redesigns where their style's a little bit different because no spoilers, but there's like kind of a traumatic event that takes place between the start of the prequel movie and the start of the first season. And like, so all of those characters are different before everything took place. And then they're also different after, but when you watch the series, you don't know necessarily. They only kind of briefly mention that something took place.
It's very cool.
It's a good prequel, but it's one of those prequels that like is 100%. And I think this is maybe more prevalent in Japanese media with prequels, at least from my experience, where like the prequel is a story that takes place before like this thing, but you cannot watch the prequel first. Like, do not watch the prequel first.
I feel like that's not no, because I'm like the thing that I would think of is fucking The Hobbit, right? The Hobbit's a prequel, but like, and it is technically self-contained. But if you watch The Hobbit first, there's something wrong with you. Yeah,
because at this point, if you don't know Lord of the Rings, you don't know like. But I'm saying like the story won't be right for you. Like the story won't be well done or good. Like it won't really make sense.
I mean, The Hobbit doesn't make sense anyway. But like, I would argue that The Hobbit is in that same vein of like.
I would heavily disagree. Actually, The Hobbit is a fully contained story.
I agree. Also, I think The Hobbit you can totally just watch. And I also think like the Star Wars prequels are something that like people don't say you got to watch the first 3 first and then the prequels. A lot of times people are just like, yeah, whatever.
I think honestly, a lot of people say that depending on what you experience first, like you can watch it your way or the release order and be like, oh, the sad story of Anakin's downfall, or you can watch it totally blind from the beginning and be shocked when he actually turns dark side.
That would be very cool. That would be a very cool reveal.
Yeah, I heard some people say that it was like a really cool thing to like do that like with their kids kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, whereas I feel like, I mean, the main examples that are sticking out to me are like Yakuza 0 and then obviously like Jujutsu Kaisen 0, where it's like, yeah, if you can play them first because they are chronologically first, but that's not you'll be the whole time you'll be like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Why didn't they tell me that guy's name? Why didn't they tell me that guy's name? Why didn't they tell me that guy's name? How does that guy have that power? They never told me that guy had this power. Because the entire time it's just going off of things you already know. And there's like a lot of shots that are like entire scenes of characters that are not introduced in the movie, but have already been introduced and fully fleshed out in the show. So like you would watch it and it would be watchable, but you'd just be like, I don't care. Who are these people? Why is that neat? And not for like 10 seconds, for like multiple, maybe even dozens of minutes of the movie. Well, that's standard fare for a lot of like anime prequels.
There's a lot of knowledge, and a lot of prequels you kind of have to know. It's kind of like the thing where it's like it is an established project that like existed already. So like honestly, even making it, they didn't even need to think about the fact that you might not know because you just know. You know?
Yeah, like you're living in like kind of rural Pennsylvania and you're watching an anime movie in theaters. It's in theaters because it's a big enough anime that most everyone would know it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice though. I do like that precedent that's been set recently with like the Demon Slayer movie and the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, where like they are theatrical releases, also later available on streaming and oftentimes serialized into the show depending. And like you can just go watch them in the theater, where like that hasn't really been a thing for anime movies except for like Studio Ghibli movies that are brought in from the same company that brings the operas into theaters once every like 8 months. It's kind of cool to see like you can buy a ticket. It's there today. It's there tomorrow. It's there on a Tuesday matinee. It's not a special event. It's a movie in theaters.
Have you guys ever gone to see any of those like special movie events?
Yeah, I have
several times. A ton actually.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, because I'm a weeb, and that's the only way you could watch anime movies in theaters until like a year and a half ago.
I didn't mean, I should have been more clear. I did not mean in anime context. I meant like, hey, we've gone and got here, like you mentioned opera specifically, and like that ticked something over in the back of my brain. Like when there's like a live event, like for something I associate with like Christmas time.
Like the Fathom Events things?
Yeah, that's what
I've been to about half a dozen Fathom Events things because for years that was the only way to watch an anime movie in theaters. That's how I watched like the Your Name and like Fireworks and a couple of those like Makoto Shinkai movies that wouldn't have otherwise been available were like a one day only.
Yeah, I saw Die Hard as a one day only special, but I've never seen like this like Russian ballet one day live event type of situation. I've never seen that.
I haven't either. But I've seen Princess Mononoke in theaters 3 times.
That would be rad to go see in theaters, actually.
Yeah, it's awesome. And whenever they're doing a Ghibli Fest like next month. And I'm thinking about, depending on what I've got going on, maybe just,
camping out in the theater,
getting way too high and going to watch those movies.
As you should, I mean, that feels right somehow.
What a good plan.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like if I had not seen them before, obviously I would want to go in sober. But I've seen half of them in theaters, and I've seen them all like 100 times. I think it'd be a really fun way to experience them in that setting. I watched Spirited Away Blasted one time, and oh my god, I was whimsical as hell. I was like, I've never felt such whimsy.
Whimsy.
I'll have to see when that's happening. Those are I like the Studio Ghibli movies. I think they're fun.
I've only seen one. I think it wasn't Mononoke. I need they're very high on my I need to sit down and watch these list. I just haven't gotten around to them, kind of thing. Like there's literally
Mononoke is my favorite one, but it's not the most palatable or most people's favorite one.
It's that.
But I think it's really, really cool.
I really want to see all of it.
Howl's Moving Castle?
Yeah, I've seen pieces of it. I want to finish seeing fucking Howl's Moving Castle because that's fucking rad.
I watched that one the other day with Mari for the first time and her friend from Taiwan who'd seen it before.
Oh, nice.
We watched it. It was a good time. Yeah. They're all a good time. They're all kind of like way more similar than like the hyper fans of them will let you know. But like, it's not like you've seen one, you've seen them all. It's like if you've seen one and appreciated one, you'll see them all and appreciate them all.
That's fair.
Because they are different. They are very similar in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's like the same crew for the most part working on a lot of them. And so like the art direction is very, very similar. The art style is identical. But it's kind of cool to be able to see like in Howl's Moving Castle, there's a little bit more like there's a little twinge of like fantasy and like steampunk-ish, like Western fantasy. And then not fully, but there's a good twinge of it. Whereas Spirited Away is fully like Eastern fantasy, specifically Japanese fantasy and like yokai. And I think that's really cool to see like the same artist draw both things.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Very fun.
And Porco Rosso is a movie.
Never heard of it.
It's the one where he says, "I'd rather be a pig than a fascist."
You know what?
You know what?
That's valid.
Yeah, it's about a pig pilot, and then there's Castle in the Sky, which I really like, but isn't that good, fully admittedly. And Princess Mononoke is a little bit more feudal, very Elden Ring, or Elden Ring's very Princess Mononoke inspired.
I can't believe that they took Elden Ring and made it into a animated show.
What if Elden Ring was a game? Oh my god, it would probably be like Breath of the Wild.
That'd be fucking wild, dude.
Oh,
Dan, I'm sorry. I owe you a new build. I totally forgot.
Oh man,
a new build.
Yeah,
so
I've been telling Dan that because he's been leveling Dex to be a zippy zoopy boy, but that's not how FromSoft games work. And I've finally figured out how like a decent build like function is. So I was telling him that I'd look him up a build so that he can actually try and do what he wants to do.
Well, I mean, if you want to do like Dex, like Zippy Zoop, like I mean, Bleed is really good and it procs on a lot of bosses.
None of that means anything to me. Like I am
Bleed is a good status effect and it procs on a lot of bosses.
Where I am in the game, for context, because I don't think you were here when we were talking about it. I am very much in a mixed state of I really can't decide if I like the game or not, and I've decided that I am going to give it up through the first boss, like the first real boss, to make that call, because I am really getting frustrated with the feeling of bashing my head into a wall and not making any progress, as opposed to bashing my head into a wall and slowly getting better at bashing my head against said wall.
Are you just fighting the first boss over and over again?
I've not even made it to the first boss.
Have you ever played a Souls game before?
No, this is my first one.
Yeah, don't play it then. You're probably not gonna like it. Play Dark Souls 2. Understand it a little bit. Honestly, like it's not gonna be that fun. Cause like if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know that the games are like super cryptic. Nothing is where you want it to be. Nothing is how you want it to be, and everything is kind of hard. And that's like your first introduction in an open world experience.
I have been told multiple times this is the most approachable one.
By who?
By a bunch of Souls fans and a bunch of people
who
haven't played Souls games. I've played Dark Souls and I hated I full on hated Dark Souls. I don't full on hate Elden Ring.
I think
I would say Dark Souls 2 or 3 are a good like warm yourself up a little bit, because Elden Ring's a little more like, I don't know, not hard but cryptic. And the games before were already really cryptic.
But here's the thing, I think Elden Ring is a good one for him because it's like it's an adventure-y game where he doesn't have to get locked into a specific path, which is a little overwhelming when you're just looking at the world, but it's definitely helpful when it comes to like not feeling locked into I can't beat this path and there's nowhere forward that I can move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Also,
I feel like
I mean,
they'll give you way more than enough rope to hang yourself.
I mean, the map has some guidance on it, and the new update shows you where your NPCs live in the map now, which is very helpful.
My big gripe with it, Jackson, has mostly been so far that like I don't I don't like, obviously I don't like losing, whatever. Nobody likes losing. I especially hate losing when it feels like I have not done something wrong. I am just not working with any information. And that if I make if I'm not, because of that, there's no recovery. Like I can't just like, I can't dodge roll long enough to just learn patterns yet.
That's because you need to level endurance.
Because I need.
Yeah, and I also will say, if you do, like, it's not that you haven't done anything wrong, because like you did get hit, and that's something wrong.
Yes.
Because like they kind of wheel back, especially like, I mean, are you dying to like a boss?
No, I'm dying to just basically everyone that's not a human mook. Anyone that's not a human being, I am getting my ass handed to me. That's not true. Anyone that's not a human being, or
this is a stupid question I'm about to ask you, but it's very valid, based entirely around my experience with the game. Do you know how to lock on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a shield?
I do.
Do you use the shield?
Yes, but I can stand and take about one extra hit if I use my shield versus not.
What weapon are you using?
I'm very early game.
Like how early game?
Like I think maybe level like 16, 17, 18. Okay. I haven't passed level 20. I'm still using my starting scimitar because I learned the way it attacks and I like it better than the dagger or shit sword that I found.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest, dude. The first set of armor and weapons, it's gonna be trash. Like weapons are only if you want to change your style usually, and armor is more for fashion souls than anything else.
Fair enough.
I still use like some of my first armor,
like,
but I'm also like I haven't got all I've done is basically just like run around and fight bosses. I haven't really like. I don't want to find anything because it's too time consuming.
Yeah,
I just want to
I'm trolls.
throw myself at something until
been
it
dying
kills
to
me.
trolls a lot.
Trolls.
You know, you should really
Especially-
only attack
Oh.
those on like a horse and like hit them and walk away, and then come back and hit them and walk away.
That's the biggest problem I found with faith builds is that you can't use the horse.
I'm sorry.
You can't fight with it because you can't incant
Yeah,
from horseback.
yeah, you definitely
I
need to have it be a faith and something build if you're going to be using a horse. That's
Yeah, I
why
just
I went
stand on
for
the ground
faith
and throw
strength.
lightning bolts.
Faith strength.
like
is,
lightning bolt.
Oh, see, lightning bolt's really good.
I want to get better at parrying. That's what I want to do. I just got
Parrying
the
is very good. Yeah.
I just got the parrying like feature, so I can put it on something other than a shield.
But yeah, those like big troll dudes early on are just like super annoying, and like
I can
you
kill
can't-
them. It
you-
just takes fucking goddamn forever.
yeah, and you can always just like run past them too.
That is eventually what I did with the one that jumps down on you.
Mhm.
I was just like, this is fucking stupid. I am going to die to either him or his fucking archer buddies.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah, that
I've
one,
never
I
fought
always had to
anyone in
lure
that
out.
tunnel.
I always
Nice.
lured them out and killed them, and then went in and killed the archers.
I can't even get to the archers. I keep dying. My point is, I'm bad at the game, and a lot of this I'm very aware. Like preemptively, I'm aware that a lot of this is mad because bad. Right? I'm not confused. I know I'm bad at the game, and I know that like the only way to get better is to keep playing. But the fact that it doesn't feel like I'm making any progress as far as like I'm not getting stronger, I'm not doing more damage, I'm not making these fights aren't getting easier the longer they go on. They're just slogs every step of the way. Has been making it really frustrating. That
Yeah.
said, I am now being informed that that's because everyone I've been talking to lately has been saying, yeah, because your build fucking sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is your build?
Dex. I've been dumping everything into Dex because that's what my
Yeah.
weapon is based on.
Dex isn't awful, but it is if you're not experienced. Like if you've never played the game before, Dex isn't really good because it requires you to have like good positioning, good movement, and like good ability to read attacks. And like you kind of
I
need
don't have
that.
that yet, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like strength is much more like strength is like the easiest build.
Strength
like,
and
you
magic.
just-
I've heard strength and magic are dummy easy.
Yeah, sorcery is pretty easy in Elden Ring, I think. I haven't done anything. I've only done like the faith incantations, which are kind of good. But the sorcery seems to be way better because
Oh,
it's
it's
like
cracked as
gravity
hell.
spells and stuff.
It's cracked as hell.
But lightning bolt is fun, and I have the dragon head. I've been on a holy dragon quest
Nice.
where I've just been killing every dragon in the game
As you should.
just because I want their spells.
Sometimes you just have to ignore the real story and get every dragon you can possibly get your hands on as your personal quest.
Yeah, the real story is I killed like 6 dragons now, and then that's the real story. That's the real lore. And then I also killed one of the Elden guys.
Was it Godric?
Yeah, the one you have to kill in order to get lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did diddle around in the castle Redmane. I went and cleared that through, and then I've got the Catboy and Barnacle Kid, Catboy and Beetleborg.
Yeah.
I gave
I
them
love
the
that movie.
hands, and then there's also like Big Reddy back there, but I haven't gone and fought Big Reddy. That's like next on my docket.
See, I managed to kill the first two, Margit and Godric. And I'm like, you know what?
No, Margit's not one of the Elden.
Well, but he is your first like true boss.
Yeah, he is the first like boss for sure.
And like that's why I was telling Dan a little bit ago, because I just said, have you beaten either of these bosses yet? And since he told me no, I think that's a good reason to restart with a more planned build. Honestly, here's the secret people won't tell you. There's no shame in looking up a build map when you're coming into a game like this that's so obnoxiously different than other games that claim to be a similar thing.
Yeah, I mean the thing about like the Souls games is like there's genuinely like no shame in looking everything up because otherwise you're not gonna find a lot of it.
It
Just
literally
because a
tells
lot
you
of it is kind of
nothing.
hidden and tucked away. Like you kind of needed to have some things data mined to find out like, oh, I know I want like a good like weapon that scales with this, and then you like can go to the wiki and find out where they are, and then the challenge becomes getting them. But like the
Getting them, yeah.
actual like mapping it out and finding them isn't really like that's not really like a fun or fair challenge because you're just gonna be wasting a lot of time
Yeah.
finding stuff that wouldn't apply to you.
Yeah, well, and I think that's also been part of it is that like for a while I was like, oh, I'm just not gonna bother like looking things up. Like I'm just gonna play the game. I'm not gonna. But now I'm also again that's also something that I'm realizing as I go is that basically I'm just playing the game incorrectly. Like I've been playing the game like an RPG and I need to stop and I need to play it like a fucking Souls game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is a
I mean,
shame
like,
because it would be nice if it played like an RPG, right?
Like,
but I
it-
think
No.
a lot. Well, no. In the sense of like your gut instinct of what different stats do would make sense
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
because like Dex is you would think makes you like roll further or move quicker or something like that, but no, it literally is just a leveling stat for items, and it doesn't do any of those things.
Yeah, they're all just leveling stats for items, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun. And then, I mean, there's also just like don't like Ashes of War and summoning are like genuinely your friend, and there's nothing wrong with
I
using
can only
them.
summon one thing like.
Oh, you can
I
only
don't even know
summon
what
one at a
refills
time.
it. I don't even know what refills the level.
Now you can summon 2.
Okay, so when you level better than me, you can summon 2 things at a time.
How do you
No,
even?
like 1 Ashes of War, and then like you can summon 2 people.
Oh, I don't summon. I don't play with other players. I am not interested in that at all.
Oh, I thought you were okay.
Oh, wait, why aren't you interested in that at all?
Because people fucking suck, and I hate everybody. And
No,
I
no,
need-
people who
I
That's
don't-
really weird. Yeah, they're not gonna invade you. Just
no, I
they
just
play,
I don't
like-
I don't want to do that. I really really don't want to play with other players. I don't want to have to deal with that.
I get where you're coming
That
from, but
seems-
Souls
you know-
players are usually like honestly really helpful, and like they set up their area to like help people because they want to help, not because they want to stand there and laugh at you while like General Radahn just eats you alive.
Yeah. Also, if you've never summoned in a Souls game, it's not probably what you think it is. They can't hit you. They can't friendly fire you. They can't choose where you go. They can't walk off your screen. They have to do what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like they're just like a person who can be like shitty.
They're a glorified
want to,
NPC,
maybe they
if we're
could-
being honest.
Yeah, maybe they could not walk into the boss room hypothetically, but I've never had that happen. And like, worst case scenario, they might just hit the go home button and then not stay after a second. But like, they don't have like the power to do anything. They're an NPC. They can't like talk to you. They can't like read messages. All they can do is emote at you.
Maybe they
I
can
don't
use
know,
those talk rocks though, so they say hello.
Hello. Oh, that's right. The new ones don't say hello anymore.
Man, I get it, and I'm sure that would help. I really do not want to. Like, I've literally
Right.
turned multiplayer off completely.
I know,
I
but
don't
like
get any
you seem very
messages. I don't
opposed
get
to
any-
it, and I think it is a good direction to try something. You haven't tested it out before, and I don't know. Like, I feel like you have a really aggressive stance opposed to it. When like I've got hundreds of hours in the games, and I'm just telling you, it's a pretty good mechanic. It's not shameful. The people can't harm you. They're not going to be toxic or dickheads. Give it a shot once or twice.
Also, for what it's worth, even if you decide not to summon, because I have not been invaded yet. I have not
I haven't
summoned anyone yet. So like I think that
Oh, man,
actually is
I
something
was-
that you have to like prep your world for it, but I've only had an NPC invasion so far.
I was so mad when I got my first NPC invasion outside of whatever that fucking arena is.
Where at? Oh, yep, I know
After-
what you're talking about. It's like a
after you
big
go through
old
the
thing in
pass,
the woods.
There's like you go through the woods
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
ways, and then
And there's that big
that's
like
wh- and-
Coliseum place that you
yeah,
can't
it's a
get
Coliseum
into.
looking thing. I was so livid and then immediately so fucking confused.
Because you're like,
'Cause
wait, I
I-
turned this off.
I turned this fucking off, and like then there wasn't. Then I died to him like 4 times, and I'm like, cool. This is stupid. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah, play like the NPC invasions are definitely harder than most of your average characters. But one thing I will say is I think that by turning off messages and everything, that also is making the game harder because you'll get a lot of times when you get a message that's just like beware of left. And it's like, oh,
And
cool.
there's, like, an enemy
There's gonna be
left.
someone who jumps me on the left, like as I walk
Yeah,
through
or-
this doorway.
Or they're gonna be on the right because that was my experience with the messages for the first like maybe hour of play.
I literally have
nothing
not
but-
seen a
Really?
single message
Was
like
nothing
that.
but nothing
Really?
but jump here
I
for
would-
secrets.
No, I mean, maybe check again, because the way that the messaging system works is the messages that get praised are the ones that stick around and get shown to people.
Fair
So if you
enough.
see a message like that, then just go back to it, say like like not helpful or whatever, and you'll probably see a score on the message. If it says like appraisal is 500, it's probably true. If it says appraisal is -7, it's probably just someone being a dickhead.
Mhm.
But
Fair.
usually the less appraisals they have, they don't show up. So if people are lying, they actually the messages don't show up unless they're like a really funny lie, like try jumping ahead.
Yeah, but then it'll be like a bottomless pit that is very clearly like the edge of a cliff and you see the ocean. It's like, try jumping ahead. And it's like, haha, that's funny. But like, you're not going to try jumping. But you'll
And then
you'll
there's your
still
new
praise
player,
it.
and then you try jumping, and you're like, oh. I try every once in a while still, just because what if?
What if?
I did see a thing. Speaking of that, because I do see it on Reddit and TikTok every now and again. I did see a thing about how there's a secret door that people have been putting up, like they've been marking the
that
secret door
door.
forever, you have to hit it like 50 fucking times before it actually opens.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that
insane and
because
very
the
funny.
general agreement is that it was 100% like some error in coding that made it hit that hard. But everyone's like, oh my gosh, Miyazaki, you've done it again. Oh my gosh, you're a fucking genius. And then in reality, it's like, oh shit, I gave this a 9 factor instead of a 1 factor. That's weird.
I think he might have done that though. Because like the thing I love the most about Miyazaki is that like he's not like Studio Ghibli Miyazaki's FromSoft Miyazaki.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about both today. But FromSoft Miyazaki is like he like everything he designs in the games is like kind of like people paint him as like he's being like, whoa, he's like demented, he's sick, he's twisted, he's like wants the player to suffer, and he's just like, I think it's really fun to do these kind of things because they're kind of weird and it's a little bit more challenging that way. And you're like, man, this guy just like really enjoys designing games, and he really enjoys like including minor puzzle elements in otherwise like action RPG settings. And I think he seems like he's just having a really good time with things.
I think my favorite thing about it is that you get these games that, because I saw someone talking about how Elden Ring feels like a game that has taken a lot of inspiration from games that don't exist. And I don't know, I really like how it's like, it's obviously it's a lot like the other Souls games, but it's really different. And it makes me appreciate the other Souls games more because of how different Elden Ring feels, you know?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I still don't know that it's like my favorite Souls game. But it also like, I do really enjoy it. I think it's really fun. It took a little while for me to not think it was butt.
Yeah.
Because of how different, just because of how different it was from other Souls games. At first I was like, this doesn't really feel good or right. But that's just because I wasn't in like the right mindset for several hours.
Right.
Just because of how different it is from like the other experiences. Like I still like just beat my head against the wall with Margit until I killed him at like level 20.
As you do.
And then like I was like, that wasn't even that fun of a boss fight. I didn't even feel that good when I finally beat him. And then I found out about like spirit ashes and like all these other different things. I was like, oh.
It's the time of day visiting that you have to do for some places does piss me off. Just because I never think to do that. But now that I know that like different NPC areas, if you visit at different times a day, different people can show up, and that's how you get like your spirit ashes, is pretty good.
Yeah, that was a really weird thing. But the fact that you can just buy them if you miss that is kind of cool.
Well, no, the ability to actually summon them is what I mean.
Yeah,
because
I missed buy it.
I missed the access to the bell for a hot minute. I'm like, I have all these ashes. Why can't I use them? And now I know.
you can buy the bell if you miss it.
But I got the bell still.
I know, but there's a lot of cool NPC side quests that I right before we started recording, actually, that's what I was messing around with. Rob was kind of showing me like some of the different NPC side quests that are available, because like I hadn't really like looked for them because it's very much like an old school RPG / old school like hack and slash game, like the NES era.
Yeah.
The game doesn't tell you, oh hey, if you go to this place and do this emote, this guy comes down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, and like a modern gamer mindset, you're like, it should tell you that, or it should give you a quest marker on your map. But like, it's kind of nice that it does like the very old school, like the Castlevania 2 style like quests, where you're like, how would I ever fucking know that? I don't know, Nintendo Power or the wiki.
I do. There's a value there. I definitely am fine with not having any quest markers. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. And finally figuring out how the fuck the sites of grace were pointing me was really like made me a lot less angry about that.
Yeah, that's a cool little feature. I do like that.
Yeah, having even just a vague sense of, hey, you should be going this direction is plenty. That's fine. There is also, I think, a value in giving anything away. Like something like things that are like, and like I don't know, I don't have any specific examples. I don't fully. I like it to a point, right? I like the idea of like, hey, you have to just go look this up. I don't love having to play the game with a Wikipedia page in my second monitor.
Hey, Mr. Minecraft.
I really do like to play the game with the Wikipedia page in my second monitor, which is why like I've been playing Elden Ring on PS5 because my computer can't even play like League of Legends. So like I've been playing it on PS5, which first of all, I've heard that that's like the best version, which I don't know if you guys have encountered that.
I've run into so many problems with playing.
I have not run into a single frame drop, even let alone like everything's going 4K, 60 FPS.
That might also be part of the problem, is that my game runs like ass. I have a relatively beefy computer, and it took me so long to even get the game to run.
Really?
Let alone actually be able to play.
My computer's all right, but I just lowered the settings.
I drop frames nonstop. I
just
drop frames all the time.
Graphics settings.
No, I'm on low. Like, this is not
RTX on.
Damn.
This isn't a graphics. This isn't a GPU issue. This is a compatibility issue, I think, more than anything.
Oh, that's right, because you don't use NVIDIA.
Correct.
Yeah, I also think it's like worth noting, like, it makes sense that the PS5 version is the best because it's a FromSoft game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've always developed for Sony.
Yeah.
Well, except Dark Souls, but Xbox, maybe. But yeah, no, I think it's fun. I think it's a pretty good game. I've been enjoying it. I like the faith build. I like the way that the incantations feel, but I also can fully feel how I've like shot myself in the foot by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, oh, this boss is super easy if you parry. I'm like, how would I do that when I have a weird lightning hand and then also a spell flinger?
Yeah, I still don't know how to parry.
That's the other thing I think that keeps me trying to enjoy the game, is that like I keep seeing videos and like content of people who have some of the more interesting weapons, or have basically anything that's not a fucking default sword or default shield, right? Like,
I do hate to say this, but you might find that in a lot of instances, getting those mega swords and don't actually do marginally more damage in a lot of cases.
I don't necessarily need the damage. I just like the stuff. Like, there's one there's one specifically, I was starting to know about it earlier, that like lets you full on
greatsword.
nothing personnel kid people, and that's fucking rad.
Yeah, what is it? It's my coworker sent me a TikTok with it. It's like the Bloodhound step or something like that.
That sounds right. Yeah.
I do have like a Bloodhound dagger.
I like the idea of being able to nothing personnel kid. I've heard somebody say that they're like you can just there's a weapon that is just fucking punching things in the face, which sounds great.
Yeah, there's a lot of fist weapons. I actually use a fist weapon in my main hand.
I think a fist weapon would be very fun to do. I don't know. I really like I like a lot of the things that I'm seeing, and it's just not there yet.
I mean, you'll get there maybe, and it's also like if you don't want to and don't like it, that's also fine too, because like they genuinely are kind of weird games. They're like a little bit strange. I mean, Elden Ring is by far doing the best numbers wise out of any Souls game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sold more units than Dark Souls 3 has so far. Yeah. Like,
which is
and
wild.
It's not because Dark Souls 3 didn't move units. I mean, it did. It's like Elden Ring has for some reason gotten so much more like attention and so much more hype. Which is, I mean, that's good. You like to see like a good return, and it encourages more game design like that in the future. But yeah, hopefully you like it. If you don't, though, that's okay too. I mean, there's no, because like I said, they're weird games. They're different games, and they're really not like for like everybody. And it's not a matter of like difficulty either. It's just like, I don't know. I don't play FPS games.
No. Yeah.
So I don't like them.
And it's one of those things that like, it's interesting because like on paper, right? If you just sat down and described to me, this is what a Souls game is, it sounds like something I should enjoy, and I'm not sure why. I think you might dislike losing more than the average Souls person. That's very valid.
Because like honestly, if you're not ready to just die to a boss like 6 times when it has like 10 health left in a row, that's gonna happen. That just happened to me earlier today. I was trying to fight some stupid night boss that I felt was so easy, but like it kept getting me with this one move that just did a lot of damage, and I would always think I was like out of it or in through it, and like I died like 7 times to a boss that I felt was really easy, and like that's frustrating. And then you beat it and you're like, yeah. But I think it's a matter of like, are you all right with losing potentially like 20 times to something in a row?
See,
and then like. Yeah, because you just have to be like, all right, well, I guess that's what happened.
That's what's happening, yeah. And it's interesting because, like, again, if you ask me that question, my thought is, yeah, I can work with that. I've played enough fucking punishing fucking roguelikes in my day. I can handle losing over and over and not succeeding. But the difference is, roguelike, even if I lose, I feel like I'm making some kind of progress.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because the roguelike, you'll restart a run, and maybe you have a permanent unlock now. With the Dark Souls, it's like you didn't get any souls. You may have even lost your souls, and you're right outside the room you were just outside of.
Well, and that's the other thing, is that I'm not even dying to Again, also would be one thing if I was just dying to bosses. Dying to shit farmers feels much worse because I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have to spend 20 minutes to get back there. Cool. I don't feel like doing that.
I will say, Elden Ring has more sites of grace per foot.
So many.
Than I think Limgrave has more sites of grace than Dark Souls 2 has bonfires.
It's like,
and
it's
not.
insane.
I don't even think it's a competition. So I will say that there's probably ones near where you're after that just are like off the beaten path enough, because there's a lot all over the place. And one thing I love is that they give them to you right near boss rooms, and the
fast traveling is so nice.
Oh,
the fast traveling has been really nice. Yeah,
the fact that there's a fast travel in this game is like, whew, and you don't have to be at the bonfire to fast travel.
Mm-hmm. That was something I wasn't sure about at first, and then as soon as I thought it and like said it out loud, where I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I'm like, why am I being that guy? There is no reason to be like that.
Because like I see that, like, yeah, it is kind of just literally infinite homeward bone, but also like that's okay. And it has to be out of combat anyway, so it's not like you can do it in a boss room.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good wrapping point, I suppose. Dan potentially liking Elden Ring, maybe hating Elden Ring. We'll know soon later. I will tell you, Dan, I was also like 50-50. Do I think this game is bad or good after like 4 hours of play?
I really like the character, the like design of everything. Like I love.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh my god, the troll design alone was like I sat there for like a solid like 10 seconds just walking away from him and like admiring the model on it. Like goddamn, fucking gross ass, gut hanging out ass, fucking disgusting.
Oh, and it only gets like in more batshit.
I'm excited for that. Again, so we'll see. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep bashing my head against the proverbial wall. And if you guys don't hear from me again, it's because the game beat me. You know?
Yeah. I would definitely recommend just like check out some videos here and there. Like look at some like tips and tricks. I think it will unironically help a lot and make the game more enjoyable. And if not, hey, damn, can't believe it. It's a game that's just not for you.
I don't understand. I don't understand the concept.
I was lying to make you feel better. The game has to be for you, or else you're a fake gamer.
Or
it's kind of true that your gamer cred is gone. Also, if you ever summon in a fight, even if it's like with a personal friend of yours that you're playing the game with, it means you don't truly care. So
imagine not using the deprived class and actually starting with levels. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you wanted easy mode.
Actually, that's wrong. Starting with like class that you don't want to spec into is way harder. Like starting as a knight for an intelligence build is way harder because the depraved at least starts you with a point where you can get cheap levels into whatever you want. So actually what I do is harder, and that means that I'm a better person than you.
I always use a shield, but I never actually use it. It's just to make sure that I have to
use weapons.
There you go.
I don't play the game. I'm so much better than you that I don't even play. I sit there and look at it and then die, and I say, this is really fun. I'm having a really fun time. That's how much better than you I am.
I hate this.
I never even picked up an item.
Oh. People really be out here playing challenge.
Dude,
someone tried to tell me Dark Souls doesn't have a toxic community, and I have no idea what the fuck is wrong with them. Because, like, yeah, the Dark Souls community, once you get into it, is like really like, hell yeah, this game rocks. But if you ever say, yeah, I did this mildly easy thing, you're gonna get a not insignificant number of people that jump down your throat, and they're like, actually, you fucking suck, because that's the bitch mode. And it's like,
Dark Souls has like a really cool community if you're talking to someone one-on-one.
Yeah.
If you're talking to like a crowd, they like the mob mentality takes over and it just becomes about get good, game hard, you're not good enough. But if you're talking to someone, you're like, yeah, I thought this boss was like really cool. Like, sure, it was a little bit like, yeah, it was a gimmick boss. Like you had to use like this particular weapon, or like you could one-shot it if you did this thing. But I thought the room was really cool and the music was nice. They'll be like, yeah, I thought that part of the game was really fun. And if you like tweet that out loud though, everyone will be like, yo, but then I didn't actually get to use all my stuff on it, so I couldn't actually use like my Scarlet Rot build that I've been working on. I have like Dex 89 and it actually works really well with this bleed proc I've got going. You're like, dude, okay, you can do that. I didn't. Okay. There's some rabid people out there.
That's probably part of the reason that I've been like actively not looking up videos and like tips and tricks on it, is because of people like that.
But the problem is the videos and the tricks and stuff, the cool people are making those.
That's fair.
Like the weird like mob people aren't, because the people who are making the videos have to sit there and say it out loud and then edit it. So they can't say the dumb shit because they realize somewhere in the editing process, oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
Fair.
But like the videos that you actually will see are the people who are like genuinely being helpful, helping you find items, or they're talking about like something that they like as an idea. But like, yeah, the people who are like in the comment sections, don't go there.
Let's never go there, Simba.
But do go to the comment section in this video and tell us what was your favorite part.
Yeah.
What's your Elden Ring build look like? And what's your favorite Studio Ghibli movie?
These are all really important things, and I do want to know all of them.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
I know we're on the way out, but real quick, because otherwise I'm going to forget about it by the time we get around to it next week. I've choked on my spit.
Damn.
I've talked about Down East Cider on the podcast before. They have a new mix pack that is out right now. It is fucking strawberry, blueberry, and raspberry.
Ooh.
Ciders. The blueberry cider tastes like the inside of a blueberry pie.
That sounds really good.
It's one of those things that I like. It was so close to exactly that my brain had to like reparse for a second. Be like, no, you're not drinking a blueberry pie. You have a drink and it tastes like blueberries. The raspberries are also really good and the strawberry is also really good, but the blueberry is fucking incredible. All right, that was it. I wanted to bring it up earlier, but like just real quick recommend, and I will forget by next week, so I had to do it now.
No, super valid. That's sick. That's very, very fun.
Super good.
I look forward to next week hearing more details.
Ooh, also, next week I can talk about I'm pretty sure the first thing of the new Mario Kart DLC came out.
Oh,
very nice. Did, yeah.
What'd you say?
I'll let you guys know. I said I'm playing that tonight. I'll let you guys know if it's shit.
I was talking to Jackson because it
Oh.
sounded like
I said, yeah, it did come out.
Oh, I thought you said you hate you, and I'm like, what?
No, it seems to be like a normal game expansion, and people are angry or not angry, or angry that people are angry, or angry that people aren't angry, because it's a fucking, I don't know.
People suck, dude.
I don't think people suck. I just think that like Nintendo fans sometimes forget to look at the world outside of them.
They forget to touch some grass.
Yeah, they really do.